Get out of bed! It's 4 p.m. You miss school and work. The dishes and laundry are 2 weeks old. Take the trash out. It's overflowing. Take care of yourself and stop being so lazy. This is a common reality victims suffering from depression live with on a daily basis. Simple everyday tasks no longer exist to a depressed individual. They become their worst nightmare. Laziness is not the one to blame. Depression is. I would like to refute the editorial The Nation published by the New York Times on July 30th due to the lack of information provided about the life-altering effects that follow the illness's physical symptoms. At the beginning of this article, the New York Times claimed depression as one of the least misunderstood of mental illnesses, but failed to add further details on why depression is so commonly misconceived. Although I agree with this editorial on how depression is one of the least misunderstood of mental illnesses, the New York Times did not provide enough sufficient hard evidence to back up their argument. The editorial fails to mention why depression is the least misunderstood of mental illnesses. Having this, I have prepared 3 informative claims supported by credible sources to prove the New York Times lacked critical reasoning regarding why depression is so misconceived. According to the article, this is a wake-up call. Jonah Rifkoff expresses people who are unaware that depression is a real mental disorder often view people with the condition as either weak or lazy. Because of this misconception, it is clear that people who do not suffer from depression are not aware of the daily effects caused by the disorder's oppressive physical symptoms. Like all disorders, signs of common physical symptoms are presented. The New York Times briefly claimed symptoms of depression include poor appetite, sleeping troubles, digestive problems, fatigue, and loss of sexual interest. Hearing these physical symptoms about depression may seem easy to manage or bypass by people who don't suffer from depression, but unfortunately, the New York Times failed to acknowledge the symptoms' full potential and how a victim's daily routine becomes their worst nightmare. The New York Times also claimed that a victim's basic judgment may not be impaired, but the apathy and lack of energy lessens his or her ability to function. Sadly, this is an understatement. The New York Times claims apathy and lack of energy may lessen his or her ability to function, but fails to mention what specific abilities a victim suffers from functioning properly. Researcher Katie Sisnick interviewed victims of depression in her article and explained when depressed, a victim feels like they are battling against themselves as simple tasks become burdens, such as getting out of bed, personal hygiene, attending work and school, and completing everyday household chores. The New York Times also claims a smiling, active appearance may conceal a soul tortured by doubt and feelings of unworthiness, but disregards why or how this mask appears. Although stating the significant disguise worn by victims of depression reveals the illness can be hidden, but does not explain why or how victims portray a happy-go-lucky persona. The article 11 Habits of People with Concealed Depression by Lexi Herrick explains the idea of those with depression all share the same jury personality is false. Herrick then explained individuals who live with depression have learned how to alter their apparent moves or may even portray a happy personality. Displaying these positive personas diminishes the chance of bringing others down with them, even if that means hiding their own true feelings. Showcasing a happy disguise is common for victims suffering from depression, as it is a coping mechanism to hide their pain. Depression is not a 24-hour sickness that will disappear in the morning. Depression is an oppressive illness that controls your daily routines. Depression is more than its physical symptoms. The illness becomes a victim's enemy, an enemy leading their worst nightmare. Depression is the least misunderstood of mental illnesses, not because of its common physical symptoms, but due to the lack of information regarding the critical effects victims suffer from the symptoms. Depression carries the oppressive ability to turn physical symptoms into a victim's normal way of life and enables a victim to hide under a happy face. Next time depression is discussed, I encourage everyone to listen and share the evidence I have provided, backing up why depression is the most misconceived of mental illnesses. Thank you.